खण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ध्यानमूलं गुरोर्मूर्ति पूजामूलं गुरोर्पदम् मन्त्रमूलं गुरोर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरोर्कृपा। Today, Thursday, 18th April 2024, we are starting the 10th verse of Karma Yoga, chapter 3 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And there are some very exceedingly beautiful paragraphs, explanations, discussions that Sanyal Mahasaya has done with a reader of his published work, his Gita, called the Adhyatmic Gita in Hindi and in Bengali. And I will have to by force call it Spiritual Gita for the Kriya Yogis. I have a little bit of a runny nose that might present a problem, but that's all right. Okay, so we'll straight away start with the 10th verse. Yeah. Sanyal Mahasaya is describing what the Lord is saying, Lord Shri Krishna. When you are in stress, I was told by, not by Baba, but by some other people, there is a very small two-liner shlok that you could use. Shri Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Namah Prakishta Kleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namah. So we'll try and use that every day. The 10th shlok goes like this. सहयज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाच प्रजापति अनेन प्रसविष्य ध्वमेश वो अस्तिष्ट कामदुख. At the beginning of creation, Prajapati, the creator Brahma, created the Yajna, which is Kriya Yoga, and he created the various Pranadharis, those who have life force, Pran, in them, Jeev, beings. And then he said, by doing this Yajna or Kriya Yoga, you will enhance your own powers, your own strength, and your condition. This Kriya Yoga will also be like Kamadhenu, the cow that services, provides for all your desires. The legendary cow which was originally held by the father of Parshuram, Rishi Yamdagni. One day a Raja came and he wanted his Sena to be fed by the Rishi. And so the Rishi just requested the Kamdhenu cow, and the entire army of the Raja was fed, well fed, with multiple food items. And then the Raja, his name was Sahasrabahu, Sahasrarjun. He came up and he said, how did you manage that? In such a short time, we just came 2 hours back and you have already fed my entire army. How was that? The Rishi innocently, Rishi Jamdagni was his name. He innocently showed the cow to Raja. And Raja said, what is it doing with you? It has to go to me. Ma amar pranam neven. Onek din por apnake dekhchiye Facebook. So the Raja wanted to take away the cow, and there was a tussle, and Jamdagni was killed. And then Parshuram came and he took his revenge. He killed all the Kshatriyas of the entire world 17 times. As you all know, Parshuram was an incarnation, avatar of Lord Vishnu. He also had a fight. He was a very quick to temper person. He had also a fight with Ganesh, because Ganesh would not allow him to enter the premises where Parvati was there. Ultimately, Shivji came, and then Shivji also fought with him, ultimately decapitated him with his Trishul. There is an Adhyatmic angle to that which we shall discuss at some other time. Now let us move on. The Yajna is Kriya Yoga, and the beings are Jeev, are all of us. Prajapati, the creator, said, this Yajna, if you practice it thoroughly, shall provide for all your wants, shall give you strength, shall give you a quality of life. Now, I think yesterday we discussed the shlok which my Guru Maharaj used to often say. He used to say, Shivadi krimi paryantam praninam pranavartate nishwasa swasa rupena mantroyam vartate priya. This is the Yajna. This is the first step of the Kriya that we get. Shivadi krimi paryantam, right from the Shiv all the way up to the bacteria, everybody has breath. Shwas, Nishwas. And if you pay attention to the Shwas Nishwas, if you keep focused on the Shwas Nishwas, that is enough to create a movement in the right direction for you. So Brahma created, number one, he created the beings and he created karma. This is karma. You have to do it. It is an activity which you have to indulge in. We all know that any prani, any being cannot survive without Shwas Prashwas. So, this is the little lamp, or the flame of the lamp which keeps you alive. Shivji has said this, Nishwas Shwas Rupena Mantroyam Vartate Priya, which we discussed. So I think we have already discussed this shlok, but it doesn't matter. You will get progress. What is progress? You know, the definition of progress varies from person to person and society to society. The definition of progress is monetary, material progress, that is one, which is what we all of us look for. But progress here in the spiritual world, in the Adhyatmic Jagat, is progress towards God. How far have you reached towards Him? How close you are to Him? That is progress. The material progress, the acquisition of wealth and many things from the world is only going to make your body happy. Because the body only can enjoy it, your soul will not be impacted at all. So, Prani Yagya, or the Kriya as we say, is the cow, Kamadhenu. Dhenu means cow, Kam means Ichha, your desire. So, the desire fulfilling cow is Kamdhenu, that is your Yagya, that is your Kriya. See, there are two things in this, they're very important. What is first is, as you progress on the Brahma Marg, on the way to achieving God, your desires will start reducing. There are 8 Ashtang Yoga. Patanjali, Rishi Patanjali, the original one, not Ramdev Baba. He has said there are 8 steps to achieving moksha. What are those? He says there are 4 that you have to do, and there are 4 that you will be rewarded with. What are these 4 that you have to do? Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam. Yam, inevitable. You have to do it. You will do it. Yam is unavoidable. When he comes, he comes. He'll carry one of us away when he wants. So Yam, Niyam. Niyam is what your Guru has told you, how to do your sadhana. Asan, everybody knows asan, and pranayam. These are the 4 things you need to do. And the 4 things that you will get is first pratyahar, then dharana, then dhyan, then samadhi. Samadhi is where you are one with the Lord. That is the ultimate objective. So that you will get if you practice this pranayama. That is why this makes you achieve, this pranayagya or kriya yoga, makes you achieve the ultimate target of your life. What is the target of your life? To enjoy wealth? To enjoy material things? No, it can't be. So then what is it? To be one with Him, my Maker. Yagyas Tarayati Praja. This yagya, this prankaram, this kriya yoga will give you salvation. And the Yagyeshwar, the Malik, the owner of this yajna is Vishnu. There are steps. First step is when you do Kriya and you become skilled at it, then you get Gyan. Gyan appears here, does not come from the books, does not come from hearing sermons of people like Ramdev Baba or X or Y or Z. Gyan will appear to you here. Bhagavan Ram has told Shabri Maiya this also. Mantra jap kar drid vishwasa, mantra sohi jo jnana prakasha, Ved prakasha. Ved is the same as Gyan. So by the incantation, incessant incantation of this mantra which has been given to you by your Guru, you will be able to achieve a knowledge of him. All other knowledge are secondary and binding. Knowledge of history, physics, geography, engineering, science, chemistry, they all bind you to the earth because they achieve only material impacts, material results. And this Gyan about how God is, how do I achieve him, which way do I take, etc., will ultimately result in mukti, which is salvation. It is said, Sanyal Master is quoted from some scripture, I don't know which one, he has quoted, Yogat sanjayate jnanam yogo mayyeka chittata. Yogat sanjayate jnanam. Yoga will give you wisdom, jnana, knowledge about him. And yogo mayyeka chittata. This is very intriguing. Yoga will achieve your chit merging with my chit. Chit is, an offshoot of man. So therefore, Gyan will come only with the practice of yoga, yoga abhyas. And the assimilation of your heart into your soul will also come after you have achieved some Gyan. This is what verse number 10, Brahma's creation of Yajna and the Bhoot. Bhoot is all of us creatures. 11. Devan bhavayitanena te deva bhavayantu vah parasparam bhavayanta shreya parma vapseta. With the constant practice of this Kriya Yoga or Yajna, you will also strengthen the devatas, the deities residing in your body. And they will strengthen you in turn. This co-prospering, co-enhancement will make you reach Param Kalyan. Param Kalyan is only one thing, the ultimate welfare is only one thing, that is to be with him. It is said, Lahiri Mahasaya is saying this, he who thinks of a particular god, let us say Hanumanji or Kali Ma or Durga Ji or Vishnu Bhagwan or Shiv, that particular deity also thinks of him. And this is how you co-develop each other and reach ultimate Kalyan. My Gurudev had said, Je amake cheye thake, amiu take cheye thaki. He who always looks at me, looks for me, looks at me, I also look for him. I also look at him. And thereby, I provide for his welfare. Similarly, if you wish well if you wish somebody well, what happens? If it is from the heart, if it is sincere, it will cause him some benefit. He will benefit from your good wishes. But even you will get a good welfare, is the best I can do. I don't know what word to use. बिकॉज शुभ कामना मई दैवी शक्ति मैंने चिंतन के द्वारा प्रबुद्ध किया, बिकॉज आई एनहांस्ड द गुड विशेस, द desire for him to be well, that will reflect on me, because the devatas are saying, he who looks at me looks for me, I shall also look back at him and for him. So if you sending good wishes to somebody, some devata who is carrying these good wishes to this afflicted person or friend or parents or siblings or friends, that same devata will bring his good wishes back to you, and thereby you will gain. On the other hand, if you think ill of somebody, you want him to be harmed, damaged, deprived, that same feeling will return to you in the same manner. You must never wish anybody ill. I remember one incident. My sister had gone to Baba and she was a little depressed. And Baba said, what's wrong? What has happened? And she said, such and such person is always, trying to make me look small and, ill-treat me and all those things. What do I do, Baba? How do I retaliate? And surprising, I was sitting there. And Baba said, তুমি না ওকে বলবে যখন তোমার সঙ্গে এইরকম ব্যবহার করে, তুমি ওকে বলবে ভগবান তোমার মঙ্গল করুক। আর jaw fell open. বলছেন কি বাবা? হ্যাঁ, তুমি বলবে ভগবান তোমার মঙ্গল করুক। You wish her well. And she said, since Baba has given me this instruction, I have to follow it. And she did. Sincerely, she tried. And after many years, they became very good friends. You have to offer your chit, your man, to Bhagavan, to God, when you do this karma. You can't say, I am doing this karma. I will get some gain. I will see some beautiful lights and I will see Shivji or Durgaji, etc., etc. The yajna cannot be centered around the individual, I. It has to be centered around the target, your target. You want to reach somewhere. You don't want to stay in I. You want to reach that. So this has to be centered in that. The best yajna or tap is jap yajna, the first kriya that has been given to us. Ajapa is the best yajna. Ajapa is also our age. How? Havive Ayu, Hamari Havi hi Hamari Ayu. What we are offering to the Lord is our age. Everybody has got a limited number of breaths on this earth when he has come. The Lord says, Sanal Mahasaya confirms that you have 21,636 breaths in a 24-hour cycle. The yogis like Bhishma and some of the others, my Guru Maharaj, they can do with just 2000 breaths in a 24-hour cycle. So from 21,000 it comes down to 2000 by the use of yagya here. How do they manage it? Don't ask me. I have no knowledge. So thereby I am told Bhishma lived up to the ripe old age of 300. Brahma is Agni, fire. Brahma is Kutastha. Brahma is Param Shiv. So you have to keep focused on your Kutastha and offer the pran to him by the jap. Slowly you will find over a period of time, when you continue with this process regardless of results, because initially you will not get results. Initially it might be even a bit of a drag. You might feel uncomfortable and you might even question your actions and your devotion to what you're doing. You might feel, what am I wasting my time on? There's nothing, no result. But don't worry about it, it will come. Bhagwan Ram has also said, Mantra jap kar drid vishwasa. Have faith and do your job. Slowly your breathing will become smooth, almost as if there is no breathing. And that sthir pran, that still breath, is Niranjan himself, is God. Pran Shakti then goes and finds its place here and stays there. This is how Baba departed. He dragged his breath up and he stopped it here and here. I told you yesterday, my son arrived in the evening. Baba left this world around 9:30, 10 in the morning. He arrived by Shatabdi in the evening at around 9:30 only, about 12 hours later. And he sat next to Baba and he did pranam and he saw that some breath was coming out. So he checked it with his hand and he could feel the breath on his finger. So he made a little bit of a commotion saying, Arre, he's there, he's not gone. But actually it was the breath that he was holding here and here, which was due to the relaxations of the muscles. It was now escaping slowly from his nostril. By the practice of this Kriya Yoga, all your sensory organs and the powers that activate them, keep them active, will create welfare for the sadhak. When we finish this Gita, we sing a little two-liner. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyanti na kaschid dukh bhag bhavet. What does it say? Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Let everybody be happy, at peace, bliss. Sarve santu niramaya, without any ills, without any problems of bodily problems. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Let everybody see good things. Now, good things can be outer and inner. Outer, you see a good person or a good neta or a good police wala. That is of no consequence to you. Good things that you see inside, like maybe a little jyoti, you will hear a little sound. These are the good things which will make a difference to your quality of your sadhan and the quality of your life. Ganesh ji is also available in the Mooladhar, where the Brahma ji is also there. He creates. original Shakti, which is called Kul Kundalini Shakti, that also resides in the Muladhara. That is an upper, base of the triangle is in the bottom and it points upwards. And here there is an inverted triangle which is pointing downwards with the base on the top. If you put the two together, it is like a damru. This is what Shivji's damru is. Taka 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 trak taka 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 trak taka taka. That is the damru. That creates sound, that creates so many things. So Muladhara, the very bottom, is where in that upwards pointing Urdhmukhi, it is called in Hindi, Urdhmukhi Trikon triangle, lives Kul Kundalini trapped there in the form of a serpent. It has got 3.5 coils. This has been found in some ancient temples that have been discovered down south. And people were saying, Are Nag Devta, etc. Obviously, we have been deprived of proper knowledge for 800, 900 years. True gurus have all disappeared. There are fakes and frauds all around. One has to be very careful. He will look so nice, he will be so, as if tomorrow he will give you salvation, but he will be leading you to your own destruction and entrapment, and he will take away all your money. Just like the ATM frauds and the mobile frauds. So now you have been slowly moving down from Sahasrara to Agya Chakra to Vishuddhakya to Anahat to Agni Chakra to Swadhisthana to Muladhara. Now you are trapped there. What you have to do is you have to open the triangle, the Urdhmukhi triangle, and allow Kul Kundalini to escape. She's like a serpent. She'll crawl up the Sushumna and crossing all the 5 chakras below and Agya Chakra here, she will ultimately reach the top, which is Sahasrara. Then she will merge with Shiva. Shiva and Shakti will be together. And that is your ultimate aim. What does it signify? As it moves up, you have conquered that particular chakra. If she crosses Muladhara, you have won Muladhara over. You are the master of Muladhara. After Swadhisthana, she can't see most of the magic and tricks shown by some of these yogis and so-called saints, they have conquered the Muladhara. Baba told us once, it's not so difficult. You can do it. I don't know how, I don't know the process, but he said it can be done. Probably continue with your pranayama. Once you have conquered that, you can play with the elements. Like I told you yesterday, Lahiri Mashay, when he went to get his Diksha, he was sent down to the Gagas river to bathe. He had been expunging his, he had been fed some oily liquid which caused him to purge. He was like diarrhea and vomiting, he was purging. So ultimately he fell unconscious from so much dehydration. And he didn't know how long he had been lying on the river bank. Ultimately some of his Guru Bhais, who were the disciples of Babaji Maharaj, came and gave him fresh clothes, bathed him, and then took him to Babaji Maharaj. And there he first saw this golden palace. Some life, 3, 4, 5 lives before, he had desired to live someday in a golden palace. And Babaji knew that, and he fulfilled his desire. All the other desires were purged by this oily liquid. This was remaining, it was stubborn desire, and Babaji fulfilled it. So Larry Marshall stayed with him in this golden palace in the mountain, and after 3 days of intense training, discussions, explanations, etc., then when Babaji Maharaj thought Larry Marshall was ready, then he told him, now you go and you do your job. And Larry Marshall came out, and when he was doing his pranam, he looked up again, there was no golden temple. This is a trick which can be achieved just by winning over Muladhar. There's another chap called Gandha Baba. There's a story about him. He was doing all these tricks, fetching some itra from the thin air and getting some food stuff from thin air, etc., etc. And his Shishya, not knowing the real power of Sanyal Baba and Tiwari Baba, made some undesirable comment. Can your Guru do this? And Sanyal Baba was omnipresent. He knew everything that is going on around him. So he just said, Chalo, Jwala, chalo, let's go. So they left the place. This was in Banaras. And soon enough, this man was unable to achieve any of this because he had shown his, powers and had increased the ahankar, the ego, and that immediately caused him his downfall. So then ultimately he found no other way except to come running looking for Sanyal Baba, and he ultimately found him in some dharamshala and fell at his feet and apologized and all that. Ultimately, Gandha Baba became the disciple of Sanyal Mahashaya. I don't really remember what was his name, but I think Giri knows that, but that's not important. Name is not important. The point is, people get carried away with the little amount of power that they generate out of their yoga sadhana, which is why it is not...
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Gandha Baba's monastic name was Visuddhananda, and his disciple, as you said, is I can't really recollect it, but he was a great scholar of Tantra, sir. I forgot his name.
Oh, he was in the Kashi University.
Kaviraj, sir. Gopinath Kaviraj.
Gopinath Kaviraj, right. That's the name, right. Okay. So, the song that I sang the other day, on Friday, last Friday, Heli Mahari Nirguna Sidi Badi Sankari Re Vato Chadyo Nahi. If you reach there, you will achieve Him, God, and you will become, Amar, immortal. But if you reach there and you have this additional baggage of ego and all this show off and falana and dimka, then you will fall down from there and you will lose your power. There are so many interesting stories. There's so little time. That reminds me of a shlok which Tiwari Baba used to love to recite every time. And that shlok is Asankhya Shastram Bahu Veditavyam Swalpascha Kalo Bahuvascha Vigna Yathasar Bhutam Tatasevitavyam Hanso Yatha Chirmi Vambu Mishram. It says Asankhya Shastram. So many holy books. Countless. Bahu Veditavyam. There's a lot to be learnt about. There's a lot to learn. Countless scriptures, holy books, lot to learn. Swalpascha Kalo, very little time. Bahuvascha Vigna, even in that limited time, there is tremendous amount of difficulties. So, he says, grasp only the essence. Don't bother about the peripheral, like the cherry on the top. Don't bother about that. Just like the swan, it has got some chemical in its saliva. The swan will bifurcate milk from normal water and take only the milk portion and leave the water. You have to do that in your life if you want to progress, because you have very little time. Number 12. Shlok number 12. Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasayante yajna bhavita तैर दत्तान प्रदायेभ्यो यो भुंक्ते स्तेन एव स. Definitely, Sanyal Maharshi is translating. He says, definitely, Nishchay hi, those devatas whom you have pleased will give you your desired fruits, your desired results. Whatever they give you, if you don't share it with them and swallow it all yourself, then you are like a thief. What does it actually mean is, what is the phal you will get? What is the phal you hope to get out of Kriya Yoga? It is peace, tranquility, not to worry, so on and so forth. They are parallel. So, when you have done a lot of Kriya and you come to a stage where you are at peace, that is in the final stage, which is called Niravalamban, where you don't do anything, just sit and relax and enjoy the peaceful status that you have achieved. Now he says, if you get up quickly, without doing Niravalam, without sitting at peace, trying to enjoy, becoming thoughtless, then you are like a thief. You have done something, but you have not really achieved anything. How does that happen? Let me see. There is no logic for him to show his ego, because really you should be providing welfare and succor to the suffering of the world. You should be passing on this absolutely valuable knowledge. You can't give Diksha, but you can certainly influence people to take Diksha, go to the right Guru, not get trapped by the wrong Guru, etc. But instead of that, you project your ego, your power, your tranquility, your devotion, etc. And you use all of that to gain more material from the material world. That is why you are behaving like a thief. Because you are destroying your present world where you are in, and you are destroying the chances of your living in Paralok, the stages of existence in the upper levels. The objective of the external Kriya is to, 1 minute, this is very interesting. Dravya Tyag, you have accumulated a lot of wealth. Tyag doesn't mean donating it only. Tyag also means not being very much influenced by that. So Dravya Tyag means the ability. Bhagavan has called Arjun one name like that. He's called him Dhananjay. He who is not affected by his wealth or the enjoyment of the material wealth. So Dravya Tyag is the first objective. The second objective is Bhog Tyag, the desire for food, sleep, comfort, prestige. And the Tapasya ka uddeshya, the tap is the first one, is tap. Pranayam is also a kind of tap. The objective of that is to forego sukh. I must always be happy, comfortable, and taken care of. Don't bother. If you are faced with a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of trouble, a little bit of misery, don't bother. You will be prepared for this with your Kriya Yoga. And yoga, the final yoga where you are one with Him, the objective is to forget all these, all of them, forgo all of them. Those who practice sadhan and think only of achieving some powers, to create something out of nothing or to recreate something which is present, like, gold out of iron or mud, etc. I hope, Sanyal Mahasaya says, I hope this shlok will remove their delusions. 13. यज्ञ शिष्टाशिन संतो मुच्यन्ते सर्व किल विषय भुंजते ते त्वघम पापात ये परिणत्यात्मक कारणात्। यज्ञावशेष भोजन करने वाले साधु लोग सब पापों से मुक्त हो जाते हैं, परंतु जो पापात्मा लोग हैं अपने ही लिए पाप करते हैं, वे पाप को ही भोजन करते हैं। Extension of the same which was the mentioned in 12. What is it? As per Lahiri Mahasaya's long held belief, if you look for anything materialistic, if you look for anything in the world, you are a sinner. On the other hand, if you are constantly looking for Him, the Almighty, then you are doing punya. Pran Kriya or Pranayam is the Yajna. Pran Kriya, when you continue to do it over a sustained long period of time, if you continue to do this Kriya, then you will reach Kriya ki Paravastha or Samadhi. And there, the need to do further Kriya is over. This is also called Vikarma. Vikarma means Vigat hoye geche jekhane kormo, where there is no need for any further activity. Now that, in a small measure, in a tiny reflection of the main thing, that is Kriya ki Paravastha, but in Niravalam, the same situation is sought to be created. Whether you achieve it or not depends on the kind of application of mind, body and soul that you have put in and how far you have arisen. But it is a practice that you have to do where you are thoughtless, motionless, everything less. You are completely like a rock. You don't believe, your mind doesn't hunt around for, the world for pleasures. That is called Niravalam. Sanyal Mahasaya again says, if you don't stay in your soul and you move out into the world looking for material pleasures, then you are sinning. You are a sinner. But in Kriya ki Paravastha, in the Samadhi state, there is no Brahman. There is no in, there is no out. There is no body, there is no man. So who will move around? Therefore there is no sin in Kriya ki Paravastha. He says this is the best way of protecting yourself from sin. By the yajna, where there is a constant friction, drawing in the breath, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, that is controlled by your Samanvayu which lives in your navel. This, over a sustained period of time, will slowly start making you look inwards instead of outwards. You don't look out into the world, you look inside into the other world. This also causes a fire to burn brightly inside your navel. This is the place of Manipur. Manipur is fire. You have to burn all your sensory desires in this fire. Such a sacrificial offering will give you a lot of power, it will give you a lot of peace. If you don't do this, then you will not be able to sustain your Kriya Yoga practice. Then this fire will burn up your indriyas and your various body organs. It will burn up your mind also. You will be satiated with overfeeding your sensory organs. Saturated. This is done by the demons, the asurs. This is not done by those who are looking to go the other way around. The next shlok describes Shrishtikram. Says Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhava yagyad bhavati parjanyo yagya karma samudbhava. Let me take a reverse view. Yagya is born out of your activity, karma. Karma is yagya. The result of yagya is parjanya. Parjanya is rain. But there is another, inside, outside, both. All the time you have to keep remembering and keep reminding yourself that there is a meaning which is external, there is a meaning which is internal. The internal meaning will come to it later. The external meaning is there is rain with yagya. Yagyad bhavati parjanyo. From yagya, rain comes. Parjanyad anna sambhava. This rain is helpful in growing grains, food. And with the food, grain, you provide for the bhutani, all the pranis. They need food. All of us need food. The next shlok is similar to it. Karma brahmodbhavam viddhi brahmakshar samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yagye pratishtitam. Karma comes from Gyan, Ved. If you don't know, you will not do. And Ved, Gyan, is a directly, what should I say, a direct gift from the Almighty. And therefore, God is present everywhere. He enlightens everything, and also He is present wherever Kriya Yoga is done, Gita Part is done, etc. This my Guru Maharaj also used to say very often. What does that mean? It says Brahma is present everywhere. Guru Maharaj has departed. Once he has departed, he has only departed his body, external body. But he has merged with the Almighty. So he is part of Brahma. All of us are, but we are having this external fencing called the body, which is holding us away from Him. You know that there's this famous bhajan by Mirabai. घूंघट के पट खोल रे तोहे पिया मिलेंगे घूंघट के पट खोल. Ghungat is veil. That veil is your body. Unless you remove the curtains surrounding your soul, you'll never be able to see Him. This is what it means. So now, once you have reached a stage where once you depart your body, you are part of Him. There is the only your body is holding you back and away from Him. So now that He is part of Brahma, and Brahma is said by Himself, Brahma has Himself said, Krishna has said this, I will be present wherever there is puja, part, kriya, yoga, gita part, etc. So Maharaj has said the same thing. Nothing wrong with that. We have read this, Brahma se sab bhoot hue. All the creatures have generated from this Brahma. Brahma is here, Akshar Brahma. What does that mean? As Arya Samajis, I have told you this before, I think, we used to do Havan, that yagya in a small kund, and ghee and samagri and stuff like that. And the first slok that we started with was Om Hiranya Garbha Samavrata Tagre Bhutasya Jatapati Rekayasit Sadadhar Prithvim Dyamute Mam Kashmai Devaya Vishabhidema. Hiranya Garbha, Garbha is womb. Hiranya is very prakashman, very much lighted. So the lighted Garbha is this Kutastha. There are so many activities going on inside the Kutastha. So, Hiranya Garbha Samavrata Tagre, it comes for the first. It is the first to arrive here. When your body forms, Kutastha is the first to arrive. Om Hiranya Garbha Samavrata Tagre Bhutasya Jat. The creator of the Bhut. Bhut is Prani, all the beings. They all come out of here. Bhutasya jata pratirekayasit sadadhar prithvim. The Adhar, Muladhar, Sadadhar, Adhar, Muladhar also comes out of here. So he says, Brahma se sab bhut hue. This is Brahma. All the bhut, all the beings come out of this place and become Him. They sustain themselves with anna, grain, food. And that grain is grown or available due to rains. And the rains are formed because of the clouds that are formed by yagya. And yagya is done by your activity. You are doing the yagya. Therefore, whatever is happening everywhere is happening due to Him, the Lord, the Almighty. You know, there's this shlok that I used to often sing. Brahmarpanam Brahma Havir Brahmagno Brahmana Hutam Brahmaivatain Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhinam. Brahma Arpanam, there is a long wooden stick with a spoon at the end that you dip into the pot of ghee and you pour it into the Havan. Because otherwise the flames might, singe your skin. So Brahma Arpanam, Brahma Havir, whatever you are offering, ghee or samagri or lakdi or halwa or tulsi ka patta, bel ka patta is also Brahma. Brahma Arpanam, Brahma Havir, Brahma Agno, the fire is Brahma. Brahmana Hutam, the person who is conducting this Havan is also Brahma. Brahma Arpanam, Brahma Havir, Brahma Gano, Brahmana Hutam, Brahmaivatain Gantavyam. Where will it all go? This activity will all go to Him. Brahma Karma Samadhana. So you do His work and achieve the state of samadhi where you become one with him. That is what the shloka is. I think it's too long. We will call it a day. 15. Sapna, I think you might have a question or two. And Giri, I think you also have been absent for a very long time. So,
No, thank you.
okay, no problem. Giri, you have any questions? No.
No, sir. Because
right.
you have covered this in Hindi also before.
Yes.
But
yes.
I mean, it's a different thing each time one hears.
Surely. I'm finding that out myself. Class,
sir.
this chapter 3 is a beautiful revelation. Many of the things that Baba used to say, just like that, are there written in this. I never noticed for so many years. So, okay then, I'll say good night to all of you. Jai Guru. See you tomorrow.
Jai Guru.
Yeah. Tomorrow there will be live. Those who are interested, please do come. It will be interesting and nice. Thank you. Good night.
Yes, sir.